Hi, my name is Alex Benuelos. It is 4/24/17, and I am doing an interview with Beb Crawford. And the purpose of this interview is to get a brief background of how she lived. And the location is Bethany Home. Beb, can I have a brief background of your life?
Yes, I'm Beverly Crawford, and I was born in Arcadia, Nebraska, and raised in Sargent. Went to school in Sargent. I was married to a man from Mason City, and he, of course, in turn had to go to service right after we were married, and then we have lived in various places over the area. So
When you were younger, from your experience, how has the community changed since you were young?
I really haven't been in the Sargent area lately. I don't know if there are any changes up there. Gigi, you've been up there since I.
Business place.
There was
It was
when
a booming town.
yeah, when I was a girl, we had a theater, and what did we have? About 4 grocery stores, and a dance hall, and a skating rink, and 3 doctors in town. Dr. Finstermeyer and Dr. Taylor and McDaniel was the doctors in Sargent when I was a kid. And then there was several fires in some of the buildings that burned a lot of the grocery stores down. And yeah, and Gigi, her and her husband owned a grocery store up there, and it burned. And so they moved into the old hotel up there, which had been closed, and they moved their grocery store over to the motel. There was still rooms available upstairs in the old hotel, but we used to have Breyer's department store, and oh my goodness, I don't know how many other stores that are long since gone. And the town was about 800 and some population, and I really don't know what it is now up there. And so,
When you were younger, how did you earn a living?
waitress, babysitting, and that was about all there was to do at Sargent. So,
How did your parents earn a living, or they the same thing?
my dad worked in the filling station, in the Skelly filling station at Sargent, and Mom was a homemaker, and then I lived with my parents for a while my husband had went to the service until we got through with basic, and then I could be with him in South Carolina. And we were down there for 33 months in South Carolina. And we had 2 boys while we were down there in South Carolina. And then we moved back to Nebraska, and we had another son. And then my husband was done various jobs. He drove a tank wagon for a while, and he's worked on farms and ranches. And through the 3 boys, I lost my youngest son 31 years ago, and 2 boys each. My oldest son had 2 daughters, and the younger son had 1 daughter, and I had a total of 6 grandchildren. And then my second son was divorced and remarried, and she had 3 children. So that increased the population
Yeah.
of grandchildren. And I have 17 great-grandchildren and 2 great-great-grandchildren.
Can you describe a typical school day?
Well, we couldn't wear jeans to school. Imagine that. If we wore jeans on a cold day, we had to slip them off so you'd be in your dress. And of course, we wore long socks then too, so.
What was discipline like in school?
Well, it was good. We had one superintendent when I was in there, Mr. Hillier, and he was pretty strict. But other than that, we really had good teachers and sergeants.
What did you do for fun or like entertainment?
Well, we roller skated, and the there was a roller skating rink. And then we lived close to the river, and it was the Middle Loop River. And so we'd go swimming in the summertime, and then of course there was other games, home games, like we played a lot of checkers, and we played rummy. My dad liked to play cards, so we played rummy. And in those days we had no electricity. Electricity went through in 1952 through that area. So we were still in South Carolina, and my mother bought a refrigerator. It was the first thing she bought, so she could keep the baby's milk when we come back.